How about while we're waiting for a few more people to come in, you can comment where you're streaming from. I'd love to hear it. I'm in Denver, Colorado. For me, it's 12:30. Oh, nice to see you. Seattle, Baltimore, Oregon. Alex from Oregon. That's so cool. Hello from Berlin. Oh, you know what? That brings up a great thing that I wanted to share with you guys, which is that it doesn't matter where you are in the world, anybody can basically be a part of this trip, which is really cool. This is another reason why I love working with TrovaTrip because they make it super accessible to like get on the site and get things situated. So, yeah. Auburn, Alabama, Charleston, South Carolina, another Seattle, Colorado. Hey, that's really cool. Yeah, so for anyone who's just came on, yeah, I was just saying that I feel like I'm so excited to make a presentation. I don't know if you guys have ever done that for like family, partners, friends of like a trip idea, and you're kind of like putting together an idea for them, like hear me out. So anyway, but I just want to thank you guys for coming to this live stream where we can talk all things the Auralign getaway to Thailand. I'm so excited about it. Also in the chat is Alexis, who will be helping with answering some questions. And then also Jen, who is my co-host. Oh, I see you, Jen. In fact, let's see if I can make sure that her messages are highlighted as well. So Jen Potts will also be a co-host of this retreat, and she also facilitates gatherings just like I did with WellnessCon, which is the annual conference I started back in 2019, pre-COVID. And I'm so excited to talk about that evolution of those ideas and how Jen and I came up with these ideas. So yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for bearing with me too. I'm like getting my bearings on live stream. Okay, I just made it so Jen's comments will look blue. So you'll know if you see Jen's comments and that's blue, that's from the co-host of this event. So something about Thailand that has really was the main thing that got my attention years ago. I actually wanted to do a solo trip there a year ago. And interestingly enough, because of a bunch of series of events, I wasn't able to. So I think it's actually incredibly serendipitous that we're able to do this all together as a group. I personally love traveling as a group even more than solo traveling. So I think that's kind of cool. But something that really interested me about Thailand was not only the affordability for myself, but also just the deep, rich culture that's there. I specifically loved learning about the Buddhist monasteries and temples there. I loved learning about their religion, their culture, and it just, I don't know. And then also just the tropical energy, the tropical jungles. I'm just so excited to explore that with you guys. So, yeah. Okay, Jen commented, I'm so excited to co host this event with Alina. This is all about connection, exploration, and empowerment. Definitely. Deanna commented, Thailand is beautiful and I love their food and I need to meet new friends. Yo, let's talk about that. Yeah. Okay. I want to answer a few of the questions kind of like in a certain order. So I first wanted to start with the question, which is asking why Thailand, why this retreat, where is this coming from? I know some of you are like, oh, Alina, she does YouTube and, she did WellnessCon or whatever. So I have been so interested in doing a group retreat for so long, but I honestly didn't have the confidence to even think of actualizing it until Jen Potts, my co-host, brought the idea to my attention. And it was from there that we started researching where did we want to go and really getting clear on what our core intentions were for this retreat. So Jen and I really wanted to create a space, and like she mentioned in the comments, all about connection, exploration, and empowerment, where just the idea of not only going to explore somewhere, but you have friends with you who are also interested in the same thing. So we know that whoever's coming on this trip, we all love astrology. We all love spiritual development. So we already know that whoever we're with, we can talk about those things. And I also am so excited, have always been really excited about hosting live workshops. So, as you guys know, I post guided meditations for the full and new moon every single month. And how beautiful would it be to do in person guided meditations, in person talks on astrology and self development? Jen Potts is somebody who, so she actually creates live events in Los Angeles that are all centered around spiritual development, really communing with one another. And she just, oh, she has a beautiful way of doing that. And I've known her for a very long time. I actually met her like over 8 years ago. I literally ran into her. I walked by her while she was mid meditation. And I thought, I need to find out who that is. And she is a personal coach. She focuses and specializes on self development, spiritual development. And I'm just so excited to create this space with her. Another element of why I was excited to create this retreat is because, as some of you might already know, I started an annual conference called WellnessCon back in 2019, pre-pandemic. Pandemic slowed some things down there, and it was all focused on centering BIPOC healers and learning about different cultures outside of just the US and Western culture, especially when it came to spirituality and wellness. Because I'm sure, as many of you guys know, there's so many aspects of both of those areas where there's a lot of things sort of cherry picked from different cultures without that context. And so that is one of the reasons why I was so excited also to learn about TrovaTrip, which is the company who is helping to facilitate this retreat and helping to coordinate a lot of these things and creating the structure, stability, backbone, security, and, a lot of the insurances that come with that is needed to create a safe space for us. What really got my attention with TrovaTrip is that they actually specifically focus on ethical travel, and they actually have resources to help you as an individual if you want to learn how to ethically travel. And what I really loved about learning about this retreat, which I'm going to dive into, is that not only are we going on all these activities, and I'm going to be hosting workshops, Jen's going to be hosting activities, we're guided meditations, but we will actually have an in-person guide who is a local in the Thailand area, who speaks the language and who knows about cultural norms and all of these things to make sure that we are traveling ethically and with consideration for the people around us. And I'm also really excited to offer a lot of resources to anybody who books between now and June to learn more about the customs. That way we enter that space respectfully. Okay. So I might be pronouncing this wrong. Mejo Zajo, who just commented in the live. So that was one of the questions that I got just today that was asking, like, there's a lot of yoga retreats. There's a lot of, spiritual retreats where it seems like they're kind of taking from the culture and they're leaving. They're not really contributing to the environment. And I'm really excited to say that with the help of TrovaTrip, we will be directly having a mutually beneficial exchange with the local people by bringing in, our local economy, and also, like I mentioned before, learning about their culture leading up to it, which I'm so excited to share with whoever decides to go on this trip. Next, I am going to answer the top questions kind of in order of like how often I got those questions. So I think the number one question that we have is pricing. And actually, before I get into pricing, I want to let you know that for a limited time, I actually just decided to do this for a limited time during this stream and for the next 2 hours. If you email me directly at hello@auralign.shop, which will be shared in the live chat right now, and you'll see it in the video description, you will automatically be sent an email with a direct link to book right now today. That way you can secure your early bird deal, which is $200 off, which I'm going to dive into right now. So to answer one of the top questions that we have about price, you only have to pay 25% of the total booking cost of this trip today in order to secure your spot. So only 25%. So that means that only $550 are due at booking if you decide to book today. Also, for the first 8 people who book this trip, you will get $200 off, which means that your trip will be $2,199. And the regular price after the early bird special is completed, after the first 8 people book, will be $2,000, $2,399. And by the way, all of the information I'm sharing, you can see it like visually on our Instagram page. And then also, again, if you want that link on the Instagram page, I have it in the video description as well. And that specific price point and all the information that I'm going to be sharing, really, a lot of it is on the TrovaTrip website. Or you can email me. So yeah. Okay. One of the other questions that I got is what are the benefits of going on this trip with us as a group versus, say, on your own? So the two main benefits I feel like of this trip that really set us apart in a lot of ways is, one, most things are handled for you. So once you're in Thailand, the transportation to and from all of the activities, exclusive astrology and personal development workshops that are led by myself and Jen Potts, Benefit number one is that not only are you getting all of these activities coordinated for you, you literally show up, sit back and relax. You have the hosts, myself and Jen, along with our trip guide. That's a part of this package built in. But we have activities like kayaking, longboat rides in the middle of these incredible islands on in the off the coast of Thailand. We will be island hopping, going to different islands, staying on different islands throughout this trip. But on top of all of that, you also get this sort of built-in friend group and community. We're doing it all together. We get to share the experiences together. I'm really excited, more personally, to be able to host morning meditations on the beach, sunset meditations on the beach. Introduce any of you who aren't already familiar with morning pages. We get to journal together in the mornings and evenings. And so I'm really excited about that. Another question that I had is, how are we going to communicate with each other? How are we going to coordinate when I'm flying there between now and June? Like, who am I going to talk to when we're on the island? How are we going to keep in touch, stay together and secure? So I'm really excited to let you know that TrovaTrip actually has an app that we will all be able to download. And as long as you have access to internet, you'll be able to have access to a group chat. We'll have message boards. It's sort of like virtual space where I can post announcements. Say there's like a time that moved slightly by 15 minutes, I'll post it on there. And that's for when we're there in Thailand. But between now and then, I'm so excited to tell you guys that we're actually going to start a Facebook group for everybody who signs up. So between now and June, we will be able to exchange messages of like, oh, I'm getting this travel backpack for the trip, or oh, here's this flight resource, and things like that. So I'm really excited to start creating that community now, where we get to actually meet each other and get to know each other, especially since some of us might be rooming with one another. We'll get to talk to each other and, yeah, just get on the same page ahead of time, so you're not showing up and you're like, oh, like getting thrown into chaos. We're going to make sure that everybody feels secure and ready before we take this really fun trip together. Oh, okay. So another question that some people had was basically they wanted me to kind of further explain the workshops and activities. So as you guys know, this will be a 7-day retreat, and day two is actually going to be really action packed. Actually, you know what? I'll go through the general itinerary, and as I do, I will talk about the workshops, activations, activities, all the things. So day one is going to be all about us getting to our hotel safely. The very first activity that we're going to have is our dinner. So you'll have time to get into town, do what you need to do, get settled. And then we're going to have a dinner where we have a little mixer and talk with each other and just get settled in Thailand, like being mind blown, looking at each other like, we're here right now. I also plan to host with Jen a little meet and greet mixer by the pool. I'm not sure if that'll be before or after the dinner, but that'll also be a fun little activity where we can kind of decompress, talk about our travels, and just meet each other. And some of you guys were also asking about accommodations. So to be clear, we will be staying in a 4-star hotel. And as of right now, that will be La Vida Samai. So there's a link in the video description of this where you can, see the entire itinerary, and you can, copy and paste this hotel and even look it up for yourself if you'd like. And this hotel will be in Koh Samui. And we will either be in this hotel or another one that is also 4 stars. And the reason why I say that is because we're booking so far ahead of time, or not booking, but because we're planning this so far ahead of time, TrovaTrip actually books a hotel about 50 days before the trip. And so basically, we don't want to say concrete, this is the hotel. But what's great is that TrovaTrip guarantees that we will have that quality of a hotel or equal to those, 4 stars in Thailand. And that will be on the island of Koh Samui, which is so awesome. Highly recommend literally just typing in Koh Samui on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere, and you will see how incredibly gorgeous it is. So day two is pretty action packed. We're going to start with breakfast. And before breakfast, we're going to have let's see, actually, yeah, we're going to start with breakfast. And then we're going to go to Ang Thong National Marine Park Island for an island hopping tour. And I might be pronouncing that wrong, Tong, but That island tour, it's apparently we're going to be looking at a bunch of different islands. If you are on my Instagram page, I actually shared some video of this national park and how beautiful it is. So we'll be able to explore that. Next, on that same day, we will be going snorkeling. After that, we will be able to go kayaking in the ocean, which is really incredible, off of the coast of another island, Komeko and Kowau Talub Island. So day two, we're already island hopping, going to a bunch of different places. After that, lunch will be provided. And then after that full day, we will settle down, get grounded. We'll have some time to, go back to our rooms and really get centered. And then Jen and I will be hosting a full moon workshop. So I'm really excited about this. If you look at the dates of this event, obviously they won't be on the exact day of a full moon or a new moon. It'll actually be following a full moon, only a few days after one that we will be meeting up. So Jen and I thought it would be really awesome to start with a full moon workshop. So this will be a 90-minute full moon theme workshop where we focus on the themes of a full moon. And this workshop will open and close with meditation. We'll be talking all things evolutionary astrology. And I thought that that would be very poignant because, as many of you guys already know, full moons are like a cosmic spotlight. They can tend to highlight what is and isn't working through us midway through the lunar cycle, right? And I thought that evolutionary astrology could be such a fun subcategory or subject within astrology to focus on, because it's all about how no matter what your sign is, there's different ways that we can evolve into our sign. So for example, I, as a Gemini sun, I've heard plenty of people say, oh, Geminis are two-faced. And I feel like that's a great example. And a lot of pop culture associations with signs are usually examples of their unevolved characteristics. And in evolutionary astrology, we talk about how we can evolve into a more mature, almost version of of our sun, moon, rising signs, all of the signs within our charts. And basically, I really thought that that was poignant because we're going to be talking about growth. We're going to be sitting there in our very first workshop talking about what brought us there together, connecting on what we're hoping to find and seek and experience during this retreat, and really talking about intentions and connecting on that level of sharing our dreams, what we might want to let go of in alignment with the full moon. And I feel like talking about evolutionary astrology will be very much in alignment with it. I could keep going, but let me move on. Following that, Jen Potts will be doing a workshop all on growth and talking about, like, oh, okay, maybe during this full moon workshop, we've gotten clear on maybe things that we want to let go of, aspects of our evolutionary astrology, things that we want to evolve from. But let's now talk about practical steps in that direction, learning about self-talk, limiting beliefs, things like that. And I'm really excited to do that. And the reason why I'm actually going to the workshop details too is because I feel like this is really one of the things that sets apart our retreat, is that I'm excited to really hone in on these topics and bring something to you that I don't think I've really seen in a lot of retreats, especially when it comes to diving deeper into self-development and astrology and where those things intersect together. All right, that's day two. We'll go to sleep. Day three, we'll have breakfast. We'll have a Thai cooking class. Day three will be a slightly more chill, so we won't be running around too much. Then we'll have lunch, and then we will be taking a ferry from the island of Koh Samui, where we spent our first few nights, over to the island of Koh Phangan. So yes, we are going to be staying in multiple islands over the course of the week. Following that, we will have a sunset meditation and a beachside mixer. So that will be when we meet up over on the beach. This is, obviously optional. I know that these are going to be action-packed days, but we will be able to meditate together as we watch the sunset, talk to each other, and just reconnect. Day four, we will be exploring the island of Koh Phangan. And we'll also take, so we'll have breakfast. We are going to go on a beautiful hike through the jungle of Bottle Beach. And then we will be taking a long tail boat ride from Bottle Beach. So again, highly recommend Googling long tail boat rides. It's just an incredible Thai form of a boat. And it's just really beautiful. And I'm really excited to experience that. Comment below if you've heard of that or if you're interested in that as well. I personally am. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that for day 4, we will also start with a morning meditation and silent journaling. So we'll be able to get centered, and I will provide some journal prompts as well as, prompt everyone to do some morning pages where we kind of just let our mind flow and write whatever comes to mind onto the pages. And maybe afterwards we can share, but I like the idea of having silent mornings. All right. Day 5, we will have breakfast, and that will be our new moon workshop. I'm so excited about this. Um, so in our new moon workshop, as we will be talking about electional astrology, and it'll also be 90 minutes. It'll open and close with meditation. And as many of you know, new moons are the beginning of a new lunar cycle, right? So we're going to be talking about day 5 after all of our experiences, the ways that we've connected. Is there anything we're going to be talking about, if there's any things that we've learned so far in our journey, anything that has come up, especially based off of the journal prompts that we'll be providing along the way. And because this is a new moon focused sort of theme, we'll be talking about, okay, like, we're going through this experience, we're having this retreat together, this getaway. Do we have any intentions now that we're sorting to kind of like, how do I explain it? Basically, kind of change our vibe from the day to day that we came from. Is there any insights, anything that we might set intentions for? And then I thought that electional astrology would be so poignant for the new moon workshop because, as many of you guys know, electional astrology is a subject within astrology where you look at key dates and specific transits that are happening on those dates that are optimal for starting something. So, a great example of electional astrology is, oh, it's a new moon. I'm going to set intentions for this new lunar cycle for things to come to fruition based off of that astrological event that I understand helps and offers energetic support with starting something new, letting go of the old. Or a full moon. Oh, it's a full moon. I'm going to let go of certain things. I'm going to get clear on like what might be slowing me down right now, and maybe write out some intentional steps. So those are examples of electional astrology. And in this workshop, I'm so excited to talk about, a lot of the different planets, depending on your rising sign, which planets are the most beneficial to focus on for, if they're in an auspicious or benefic, placement, and how we can utilize that to our benefit, moving on. And I'm so excited about that. And then Jen will come in after that, and she will offer a talk all about self-growth, how we can align and embody with the person that we're looking to grow into. And the thing is, maybe you love who you are right now. I personally love who I am right now. It's not necessarily about changing ourselves, but it's about getting clear on, for example, like, oh, I have this really this long-term goal, like, and it's a really big thing and it feels intimidating. Like, what are aspects of myself, or what's this future version of myself that's not intimidated? What are those characteristics? Like, really aligning with those things. So anyway, again, I could keep going, but I'm so excited about these workshops. Okay, almost done, y'all, with the schedule. Day 6, we will have breakfast. We will take a ferry from the island of Koh Phangan back to Koh Samui. So we will, go back from that island to our original island and have dinner. And that will really be a more chill sort of travel day. And then day 7, our last day together, we will it day 7 will really be about getting settled and getting things organized before we head over from this island back to the mainland to fly out back home or wherever you choose to go after this. I know that I've talked to some friends who are interested in this trip, and they're interested in going on their own journey after this retreat, but the retreat got them there and they keep on going, or go home, whatever you want. Anyway, but day 7 is really all about that. So we'll have breakfast, and we will have a farewell morning beach meditation and silent journaling. I don't know why. I have a feeling it won't be silent. We'll be talking to each other. But yeah, so that is what the schedule will be. And I see a comment from Angela that says, "Is airfare included?" Or no, airfare is not included. That's correct. Airfare is not included. So yeah, so actually, yeah, that brings up like what is included, what is included. What is included is all of the activities, the workshops, the meditations, transportation to and from all of these things, the hotel stay, most of the breakfasts, if not all of the breakfasts. But what is not included are international flights, um, food and alcohol, unless it's listed in the itinerary. So, for example, in the itinerary, I talked about how we'll have breakfast on certain days, lunch on other days, dinner on some days. On if you don't see that a certain meal is listed, that's up to everyone to choose what they want. And and then visas and travel insurance and airport transfers are not included. And to be clear on airport transfers, and I will allow Alex to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive. Airport transfers are not included. And what I mean by that is if you're taking multiple planes and say you have a short layover in Singapore and you're going from the US to Singapore to Thailand or something like that, any sort of transportation, any sort of coordination between those planes, we don't cover that. Once you're on the property, at the hotel, all those things, that's when we start, coordinating the transportation. And in terms of international flights, I'm really excited to mention that I would love to help you guys, figure out a lot of that stuff. I will be posting resources for the best places to find your flights. And I actually recommend the sooner the better to get your flights for the best prices. So, yeah. Okay, somebody asked, do we need to be vaccinated to travel to Thailand? As of right now, I do not think that it is necessary, but I don't know. I don't know with complete certainty. So that's a great question that I will find for you. That was asked by Sunshine Akiba. Let's see. Oh, can we all meet in person for a meetup stateside too, Nandi? So, unfortunately, no. And that is because likely most people who will be going on this trip together will be from all over the world and all over the country. So that will be kind of hard to coordinate. Although I would love to do a live stream actually. So as soon as you book your trip, um, we're going to create a Facebook group for everybody who's on the trip, and we will definitely coordinate live streams like this, like live chats. Actually, it won't be a live stream where I'm talking at you. We will be able to talk to each other and actually introduce ourselves to one another. So that's a great question. Do, 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 do. Oh, somebody else also asked, "Can I bring a friend?" Yes, you can bring a friend, and especially, I feel like bringing a friend is very mutually beneficial because you will likely end up sharing a room together if you guys want to share a room, and then you already know who's in the room with you, and that can be a really fun. This can be a really fun trip, especially I feel like if you're like, oh, I don't know anybody, bring a friend. It could be really fun to do that as well. I'm bringing a friend, and that's my co-host Jen. So I'm really excited to share in this experience with her along with everyone. Let's see. I talked about hotels. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? You can open that up to the chat. Okay, so Veg Hello asked, are there limited spots? Yes. So we have an early bird sale where the first 8 people to book this retreat will get $200 off. You will save $200, but it's only for the first 8 people. And that actually brings up something that I wanted to remind y'all of, which is that for a limited time, for the next 2 hours, it'll be about an hour and a half now. Excuse me. If you want to book your spot right now, claim your ticket, be one of the first 8 people right now, and you don't want to wait until the 20th, this Tuesday, to get your ticket, you can actually email me directly at hello@auralignshop.com. Or no, at auralign.shop. Sorry. I just added it to the live chat, and you will also find this in the video description. If you email me within the next hour and a half, you can book yours right now. And it's only for people in this live stream because I just figured you guys are really interested in it. Y'all are taking this seriously. So, why not make sure that you guys have that opportunity as soon as possible? Let's see. Nandi, you just left a question, but the question isn't clear. Could you write that again? Okay, I am pinning the comment. Replace pinned. Yeah. So I just pinned the information about booking early. And yeah, so everybody is welcome to leave any questions. Oh yeah. So what about if there's any dietary restrictions and things like that? So most of our trip itineraries, so most of TrovaTrip's itinerary supports dietary restrictions and preferences. They also offer gluten-free, vegetarian, and vegan options in almost all of their activities. So that's another thing that I love about working with TrovaTrip, that seeing that they take those things into consideration for everybody. Um, and like mentioned before, let's see. Oh, yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is that Trova Trip can actually connect you with travel insurance as well. So, in the process of booking, so that's another safety net, another way to be secure in your travels. So, that's really exciting. Oh, thank you, Sunshine. Sunshine commented, "Your skin looks amazing." Oh, I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so in terms of airport transfers, so TrovaTrip actually sponsor partners with a company called Transfers with a Z at the end, so transferz.com, to offer external transfers to and from the airport to your destination. So I will also, that's another resource that I will be providing for everyone, anybody who decides to book. So as soon as you book, don't feel like you're just going to be floating in the air like, all right, how do I get my flight? What's next? Like, I'm really excited to create the Facebook page where we anybody who has booked who has purchased a ticket, we will offer a lot of these resources. Obviously, it's everybody's personal responsibility to figure those things out for yourself, but we will be offering as many resources as we can to really support each step of the way. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Do, 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 do. You know? Okay, so if anybody has unless anybody has any other questions, I might just wrap it up here. But yeah, I'm just so excited, you guys. Like, I man, this was literally okay. While I'm waiting for more questions, I'll tell you guys. This is something like okay, so um, so I started WellnessCon in 2019, right? It's a conference, and we brought together a bunch of BIPOC healers, leaders, wellness leaders. Whether that they were doctors, nutritionists, herbalists, yoga instructors, Reiki practitioners, um, and it was so incredible. It was such an incredible gathering in Los Angeles, but obviously COVID happened and it was really, it was kind of hard to figure out what to do next. And I felt so inspired being there, being in communion with people where we were talking about our spiritual journeys, our health journeys, really opening up to one another in that safe space for that limited, event. And that was just for 2 days. But the idea and I didn't really know what to do. And then I remember Jen, she came to me and she was like, Alina, we should do a retreat. I already host events in LA. You have the experience of WellnessCon. You have your community. I have my community. Why not? Like, we're not the only ones who would want to go on a group trip like this, right? And I thought, okay, let's do it. But I really wanted to offer workshops and guided meditations and really put our DNA into this retreat. And so that happened, right? So we got clear on it. And then we were like, okay, how are we going to actually actualize this? There's a lot of details. And that's when I found TrovaTrip. So, okay. Yeah. And so that's when I found TrovaTrip, which is the company that helps to facilitate retreats like these for groups like us. And so I'm so excited to be working with them and that, yeah. Um, is this trip? Okay, so Danielle asked, is this trip good for beginners who are just starting their spiritual journey? Absolutely, Danielle. And I say that because we're not going to be doing anything super in depth. So, for example, the morning meditations that we have, those are not going to be hour-long meditations. We're going to have, 10, 15, maybe 20-minute meditations, but something that I feel so much conviction with, not just with myself, and I know Jen feels this way, and even with Auralign as a company, this is something that I put in even into my planners and wall calendars. I want everything to be beginner friendly. I don't want anything to feel intimidating. If you decide to come, there will never be a point in time where you are pressured to stay in every workshop, go to every activity. You will be able to go at whatever pace that you'd like, opt in, do whatever you would like. And yeah, and also this is my first time hosting a retreat. So we're all going to be giddy and excited and exploring and doing this for the first time together. And yeah, and even in the workshops, I was talking to Jen about it. We really wanted to structure it so it's not like, even though it's 90 minutes, we didn't want to structure it to be like, a singular 90-minute talk. We're going to have meditation, talks, interactive workshops where we can talk to each other, mingle, exchange our ideas like, oh, this is what I came up with for an intention for the future. Or this is what I'm letting go of. Really facilitating, opening up, and forming these connections. And then another small talk, and then another workshop, and then meditation. So I hope that answers your question, Danielle. In terms of the physical activity, even the hikes, they're going to be beginner level. Even the kayaking, snorkeling, there will be support there. We will have our trip guide with us. And again, there will never be a time where anybody's going to say, no, you need to snorkel the whole time. No, why are you leaving this workshop? Like, chill vibes the whole time. Oh, hey, Natalie. Welcome, welcome to the live. Yeah, so for anybody who's relatively new to this live right now, we have been talking about all the top questions that you might have about this retreat. I talked about the schedule, pricing. I also mentioned that if you are somebody who really wants to get your spot and get the early bird deal, where you save $200 on the entire trip cost, that is only for the first 8 people to book, then you can check out the pinned comment in the live stream right now. You can actually email me directly, and there will be an auto reply with a link so you can actually book your trip today. But yeah, if nobody has any other questions, I might just wrap things up. Let me just check my notes. But yeah, so again, tickets officially go on sale this Tuesday, the 20th. The only people who have access to book today are you guys, and that's if you send an email to the email that's linked in the live chat. And the Virgo full moon's happening on the 24th, so in a week next Saturday. I'm excited for that. If you guys haven't already watched my recent video about that, I'm going to be releasing a meditation for this Virgo full moon as well. And yeah, it was so nice spending time with you guys. I see 2 more comments or questions coming in. Will you offer any advanced astrology workshops on your next retreat? Oh, you know what? If you guys want it, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like this retreat, this first year is going to be very steady, very focused on being intentional with the place that we're going to, intentional with creating a safe space where we can open up to one another, and just facilitating a retreat where we feel like we're in a community and we're sharing in this adventure together. So, yeah, but that is a great question. And I would love to do that in the future. Oh, yeah. And Alexis commented this, and I'll say it here that if when you book, no matter what, even if whether you get the early bird deal or not, you only have to pay 25% of the entire cost at booking. You are only required to pay 25%, and there are payment installments. TrovaTrip offers that feature where you can pay in installments between now and when we go on our trip, and over the course of or over the course of the next few months is what I mean. Let's see. Oh, somebody asked how many total spots are there? So max spots is 24 spots. I personally am aiming for 18 to 20 because I feel like that's a really good sweet spot to where we can make sure that we, have a nice intimate group. But yeah, maximum is 24. So as is, it's actually limited. Yay. Okay, I'm just reading everybody's replies. Oh, okay. Natalie also asked, where is this located? So this will be a Thailand retreat. And if you tap the link in the video description of this video, you will be taken to the TrovaTrip page where it lays out the entire retreat and talks about these specific islands that we will be traveling to and staying on. So we will be staying in the island of Koh Samui and doo, 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 Koh Samui and Koh Phangan, I believe. Those are the 2 main islands, and then we're actually gonna be island hopping to a bunch of other ones, but that's where we'll be staying. Yes. Oh, and somebody asked, when is the next retreat? So the plan is to have the next retreat around the same time next year, although I did see a lot of feedback of people wanting to have the retreat later in the summer, so in August or September. I know, a lot of people might have kids, work obligations, things like that. So Yeah. So that's the general goal. But before we do the next retreat, I will likely send out a new survey, get back in touch with anybody interested so we can make sure to choose a date that everybody's aligned with. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one or like next live. I will be posting a meditation for the full moon soon. And yeah, thanks for coming. I can't wait to see you in Thailand. I hope you come. Okay, bye. I don't know how to end this. So oh wait, there it goes. Okay. Bye, guys.